commend you for your input for those that usually stay in a lane, that you come out of the ashes that we all come from and was able to rise above. But you didn't just stay there and not say anything. You decided to take your expertise and add it to what was going on by being a voice of what could possibly be with education, with the real estate, with everything else we don't know about. So has other people from other industries reached out to you to either team up or partner with, or just to commend you, you know?
All right, so no is the question. For the most part, no. And I guess what I've realized the last week or so that I think will really make a breakthrough in our community is, see, we've put ourselves in these buckets. We created these little, I think it's out of selfishness really, and out of fear. So we say, I'm an athlete, I'm a rapper,
right,
I'm a realtor, I'm an investor. I'm not an activist. The activism are for the activists. Wait, I thought defending your people was for you, for all the people. I thought, thank you, Ken. Yeah, I thought as black men especially, that was our thing. Our first primary responsibility was to protect and provide for our family and our community. Like, that's what we're supposed to do. So when you get black men who say, oh, well, I work for the NFL, I work for the NBA, or Jimmy Iovine cuts my check and I'm a rapper, so Drake and Future, they don't got to get involved in that. Why they got to get involved in that? They're artists. But before they're artists, they're a black man. Right. And our community is under duress and is under attack. So it's like, I come from that school. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just how I'm built. So it's like, I was just telling my friends about it. It's like, I just come from a different space where, in like some of my personal stories, so like, the first, everybody knows I've been incarcerated, 2.5 years in prison, felonies, whatever, right? Cool. But my first felony that I caught in New York, I got locked up with a driver, my co-defendant, and I got locked up with 250 grams of coke and a loaded gun. Now which were all mine. It was my trip, it was my thing, he was just driving me. So had I split the charge up with him and took the gun, or he took the drugs, or either or, I'd have got probation or some county time and been home. Because of the fact I had such a large quantity of drugs and a gun, my first offer was 3 years of life in prison. Right? But when we went to the police station that night, and we're going through the whole, and trying to investigate it, it was like, I'm looking at him, and I don't know if he would hold up or not, or stand up or not, but regardless, I'm like, he had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? This is all me. Like, I was going to profit off those drugs, not him. That wasn't his profits. And so where most people would have either not said anything or would have told on him and tried to put it on him and made it a fight, I did how I was raised to do, with integrity and character and values, and I manned up and took my charge.
And even by not saying nothing, you're almost telling on him.
Correct.
Like,
But by
I'm not going to say nothing.
It's the same thing with our community. By not saying something and knowing something's going on and being biased and being blatant and being unjust towards your community, by having 31.4 million followers, and not even talking about Sandra Bland posts here and there, but I'm talking about like really aggressively and assertively acting like that's your mama, and that's your sister. That's why I say, if someone ran up in your house and smacked your mama, you gonna go. You're not gonna let up. You're not going. If your daughter run home telling my daddy, this man trying to touch me, you're not gonna let up until something is done about this. So why do we treat our extended family, our community, any different? And that's the problem that we lost, and we lost that really. And to my further evaluation, we lost that really through the whole crack epidemic. That's where we lost our values. That's where we got to say, yo, I'm trying to get this money, and if my aunt want to buy this drugs, like, she can get this 2 for $40. Like, that's where we lost our value. That's where we started stealing from each other to get high, or robbing from each other, killing each other. Like, that whole crack thing is really where we, because prior to the 80s, in the 70s, we had a whole different set of values. I ain't saying we didn't get high, I ain't saying we didn't rob and kill, but we was about black unity and black power and black love. On top of that, we totally have lost black love and the black unity concept. Well, you got, think about how many people of influence and wealth. Like 90% of the NFL is African American, black, New African, whatever. And there's 1,500 players. But how many have actually took a stance I'm talking about like your. I see. My whole thing is I don't like to get into a attacking anybody thing though either, because that creates further division. So it's very hard to address this matter without offending anybody, without them feeling like they're being attacked as an athlete or celebrity or entertainer. But the matter of fact is, within tough love and accountability, on some G shit, how we know, is no different than as grown men, and that's another thing. Like just like in prison or on the streets, or all my life experiences, it's like it was always just grown man to man. Like we got rules, we got guidelines, and you're either on one side of them or you're not. So it's like when it comes to our community, or when it comes to like rules or values for our community, it's kind of like I have to be on one side of it or another. And I feel like women as well, our queens as well, but I feel like our men, our kings, for the first and foremost, need to be on one side of the community or other. And I can understand people who would have 9-to-5 jobs they depend on who are less vocal, because I mean they really need that, as opposed to somebody that's making tens of millions of dollars a year or millions of dollars a year, who don't need it to survive, but still say nothing.
Right.
Like that's just weak. That's just lame. So when we start looking at each other as an extended family and start acting on that principle, like y'all really and connected with my community, like we lost our connection. So when we bring that connection back, I think it'll bring more the emotions, and with the emotions, more of the actions that follow. I mean, I wasn't always like this. Like, I mean, I like 4 years ago, I'd be like, man, I'm about to go to the club tonight.
Right.
Like, forget it, Freddie Gray. Like, I'm about to go pop this bottle. But I mean, I think again, it's just values. It's like what matters to you. You see that lighter, please?